Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a 10-minute. Nope, to Malts and Meeples here in 2024. And I've been waiting a long time for this. We have Rogue Angels from Sun Tzu Games. This is a prototype, but still. Just look at that. Look at that. I'm so excited to get this one to the table. I have a beer on hand. I don't have this set up permanently yet. I need to clean off what's going down on the base layer. But it's all set up. And the nice thing about this game, so this is a campaign book, or game. This is chapter 1, the version that was in right now. And, well, it's a campaign game, but it doesn't take up the space of a bigger campaign game. This is a smaller, fun game, still with a ton of story to it. Excuse me, I'm going to have a cough. I don't know where I picked it up from, that I have a cough. So, we have our characters here. And I'm going to figure out how to display these best on camera. And let's go down to the table. So we have Tarura Celsius. Species champion. Tarura Celsius is a former shock trooper, also known as a disciple of vengeance. With her genetically engineered physique, she is capable of a lot of destruction, while also withstanding a lot of damage. Taria scares even the most disciplined soldiers, making her an ideal choice when you are attacking the enemy head-on. Tarura Celsius is a dangerous and strong warrior equipped with nothing but offensive weapons and skills. She is an individualist and has no support equipment, but she makes up for that with her abilities to deal out damage. Tarira should join teams with low damage output. Well, that's what I went with here. And then we have our changeling, Gia Okoni. Gia Okoni is a former agent of the Consortium Special Services, or Service, a branch of the changeling military service engaged in counter-espionage intelligence gathering. Gia was considered one of the most specialized infiltration and counterintelligence agents in the entire CSS, Cascading Style Sheet. Gia is equipped with an adjustable blaster and a cloaking suit that making them disappear into the shadows. Gia Okuni is capable to get behind enemy lines undetected and has a strong focus. Gia should join a team of individuals capable of tanking and dealing damage. There we go. And there's a little more reading to do coming up here, but I realized I forgot to set up two things. I'm so glad that Sun Tzu Games got this prototype sent to me. I have played this, and you can even find video of me playing this with the designer meal on Tabletop Simulator. We did a whole stream of that. But let's see what we have here. So we have origin, but we also have relationships with various groups, various chapter points. This is a legacy campaign game. Certain things you can unlock in here branching paths, personal missions, legacy folder here. In the final game is going to contain more, like a 12-page long personal journey for your character, unlockable action cards, relationship notes, and stickers that you can use for your upgrades. So that is going to be real cool to see. So let's read this here for Tarira. As with all champions, Tarira was bred for warfare. Her body is a weapon created to safeguard the future of the neomorph species. She is capable of sustaining heavy damage while also dealing out crippling blows to her enemies, a combination that makes her lethal in most situations. Due to Tarira's accelerated growth and genetic manipulation, she was basically hatched into enlistment. Tarira advanced quickly through the ranks and was selected as unit commander in the highly regarded Shock Forces after an unprecedented 8 years of intense combat training. First in, first kill, and first demolition were her mantra in the Champion Specialized Army. Tarira has 27 confirmed kills when her last deployment came about, a prelude to the Mendilo conflict, where she managed to sabotage and destroy a Leviathan cruiser. As the sole survivor of the unit she was deployed with, she was honored with the title of Champion's Second Aide. However, the event made her leave her civilization behind and seek out solitude in Vexation. And Vexation is capitalized. Now Tarira works her memories away. Anything from guard duties to assassinations, nothing is off limits. Any job will do as long as it keeps the flashbacks in check. And then we have Gia. Even for a changeling, you are considered mercurial, modifying everything. You have always adapted even your personality to the situation at hand. With a rough upbringing, this came in handy. You can be careful, staying out of trouble, or if confronted, you can be strong and assertive, adapt, and survive. This flexibility was quickly noted when you joined the military, and you easily adjusted, becoming an elite agent of the Consortium Special Service. With most of your time spent behind enemy lines, switching identities and personalities, you can fear losing yourself. To avoid this, you took the advice from a senior agent and selected a core belief. Cause no unnecessary harm. During missions, you never attack nor kill unless absolutely unavoidable. Most of your earnings you donate to the pacifist Farseer hospitals of Seatore. You consider pacifism for yourself, but it's not really practical in your line of work, so you have decided against it. After all, you have to be flexible. When the Sentinel bomb went off in Amaris, your entire base of operation was taken out while you were on a mission in Vexation. Alone again, you are looking to see what comes, ready, as always, to adapt. So, I'm going to keep these out. I think there will be things that we fill out on these over the campaign. So, that is going to be exciting. So, I'm going to set this off to the side. I have some other things here. I have my campaign book. But let's talk a little bit about... let's go into the campaign. I was going to say, let's talk a little bit about how things work. I'm going to, I think, lay these guys down so you can see, and wherever their white base is where they are. 1,000 years, the Galactic Assembly of Sovereign Civilizations has governed the burning sun. By providing a form of cooperation between the most advanced species in the galaxy, the longest peace in galactic history was achieved. Truly, a golden age of harmony and prosperity. Unfortunately, however well intentioned their foundation, however principled its leaders, no civilization can endure forever. Eventually, inevitably, the assembly failed. Wars spreading like wildfire. Stifled by bureaucracy and paralyzed by insurrection, the assembly desperately tries to keep old grudges and new rivalries at bay. But unchecked greed, overwhelming pride, and perhaps something yet darker threaten to consume the galaxy. As the member civilizations draw their battle lines and stake their claims, the stars and the systems, lives and loyalties are torn asunder. From Eva Ariel to Panacea, from Nomius to Modius, people who have only ever known peace and privilege must reckon with the new harsh truth that the galaxy isn't as safe a place as they believed. Beyond the Assembly's control, though, an uncertain life is business as usual. For freelancers and free spirits of Brimstone Base, home of the Hellfire Pirates, risk is all in a day's existence. A little too close to the galaxy's incandescent heart, vexation is a toxic, superheated mess of a system, a perfect mess in which to disappear. Brimstone, buried deep beneath the sulphurous surface of Fury's Fall, is a lodestone for the disaffected, bounty hunters and runaways, thieves and smugglers, slaves and slavers, those for whom the suns don't shine. It's a dangerous place. Violence decides the pecking order. But someone always has a job for an enterprising mercenary, or a desperate one. And if your skill and luck hold, there's a lot of credit to be made, particularly now. War, after all, is good for business. Credits and Brimstone. Mission brief. So this is kind of written out as kind of like your cutscenes in a video game. Pirate Security Overseer, in person. Fresh meat. Welcome to Brimstone. Outer suburb of hell, and the closest viable settlement to the Burning Suns. Population, none of your damn business. If you'll step right along to the elevator, we can begin the process of getting you oriented. The elevator starts moving. People like you always seem to wind up here. Drifters and opportunists. Always looking for that one big score, right? Well, you found the right place to look if you don't play by assembly rules. The elevator comes to a halt. Speaking of rules, we got a few. First and foremost, some security precautions. Can't be too careful when there's a war on. You know? Follow me. Guard. Step aside. Spread out. Don't move. Hand over your identification and weapons. We'll withhold these till you leave the area. This area of the base again. Enforcer. Belay that order. There'll be no inspection for now. We have been ordered to permanently confiscate all weapons from all visitors. No exceptions. And any neomorph or champions are to hand over their gear as well. We don't trust those warmongering snakes. Every player must put aside all their cards with weapon classification. So you have different symbols in the corners here. The hand is an interaction. You have movement symbols, interaction. Oh, now maybe these are weapons. Weapon. So anything with a weapon at the bottom, weapon designation, gets set aside for this mission. We have one weapon over here. Now, the number of cards you have doesn't hugely matter because we're playing our cards down on kind of a cooldown system. But we continue. Private Security Overseer. Let me run you through how things work around here. Hellfires are the top of the tree. What we say goes. And what we want, we get. Below us, we have all the traders and merchants. After them, bounty hunters and smugglers. And last of all, we have you, guns for hire. Now, this is nothing personal, but simple rules of the galaxy full of rivaling species and ideologies. That concludes your welcome tour. So I'll leave you to entertain yourselves. Follow the arrows to the bar. Don't leave the leisure area. Don't get cute with the guards. Don't start a fight. Like I said, simple rules. Break them, and we'll break you. Enjoy your stay. Excuse me. The noise of the loudspeakers and the crowds intensifies. You approach the bar area. Bartender, in person. Welcome, Outlander. What'll it be? If you don't mind a strong aftertaste, I have a new imported Marauder rum from Hell's Market on Asgard. The bartender waves you to the bar again. Here's your drink. You have a personal call on the comm. Let me reroute it to your device. Just a second. I'm Barasius. Comm. Greeting, Commander. I'm pleased to hear you've already assembled a team. As you can imagine, with so many factions on the warpath, it's almost impossible to find unaffiliated agents through our regular channels. But let's get straight to business. The Neomorph polity is deeply concerned with the Assembly's failure to control the unprovoked aggression of our enemies. I've therefore been tasked with exploring alternative strategies to defeat the polity from all current and future foes, or to defend the polity from all future and current foes. An exploration that has led me to this particular suburb of hell. Vexation is a wretched place to find yourself delayed, but that's the situation I find myself in. Rendezvous with me at my location. I'll explain further. Don't dally, Commander. I have no desire to stay in this garbage incinerator of a system a second longer than necessary. So, we set our turn limit at 3. And we have 3 turns. Every time either character goes, a turn goes. And so these we're going to use to mark our turns. Get the commander adjacent to the point of interest. So you decide who's going to be the commander. And we have our point of interest right here. Introduction note. Adjacent does not mean on top of, though you can. In the beginning of each new mission, you always select a commander. Failure, if we run out of turns, we go. Well, let's set up Tarira as our commander. And I can play out this basic move card. Which now I'm curious. I want to see one thing here. What happens? Basic move card here has a movement of 1 plus a single die. So I'm going to play that out. And I get a shield back. Doesn't do me any good. So I'm going to move 1. I have to get there. And I can actually play this card again because it has 0 time. So it doesn't go on the time track. There's no need for it to cool down. However, there are some things that I can do, like I could charge to move faster. I'm not going to do that. We have turns. So I'm going to do my basic move again. So that gives me an additional 1, 1, 2. And my turn, we check the condition here. Am I adjacent to it? Yes, yes I am. Oh, sorry, and I completely am off a map now. There. Ooh, I wonder what this one is. Sorry. Gonna... How about you? If I pick this one here. There we are. There we are. So I'm adjacent to it, and we get a read now. So the turn tracker down here, that is still in play. But let's see what it says. Removed block entrance 1. So we remove that, and we're going to be grabbing 2 things out of our bag here. We have our door that's going to be set right along that line, and then our console. Console is going to be set right there. Again, it visually is better for this laying down. If I were to set this up overall, I would have a top-down view of these guys, and then a side view to catch a little bit more. And like the game itself is going to come with cardboard standees for all these sorts of things. And for our characters here, it's going to be miniatures. So, Ambrosius. Good to see you, Commander. My agent promised me a competent team, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. When I arrived, these Hellfire thugs confiscated my ship and equipment. And now I see they're doing it to everyone. Perhaps they're running low on resources? In any case, I'm not interested in their petty problems. If they want to steal my ship, it'll be over my dead body. But more precisely, over a lot of other dead bodies. Get to their enclave and hack their console, so you'll be able to retrieve our stuff. And don't let anyone get in our way. So, this moves up to 6. Let's pop back up here. 6. So we have 6 turns to open the door and disable the console. And that requires successful interactions. Now, I completed my turn with Tarja here, which means it's going to be down to Gia. And let's see. I'm going to do tactical positioning. So that goes on a cooldown of 2. It has me roll a single die. And so I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. I could have moved 4 total spaces, or 5 total spaces if I had wanted to. But I don't have anything there. Instead, I'm looking to interact. So I can interact with basic interaction. I can interact with 2. So I'm going to do the infiltration units. I can interact with 2 things within range 2. The console's not in range 2, nor do I have access to it at this point. So we get a sorry, let's see how this is all set up. Okay. Cool. Random little pieces. So how this is going to work, I get a die roll. I can draw out 3 things. I'm looking to get 3 of the same color. The yellow. I believe these are going to be chips. A purple. And a white. Now I can keep the white with any color because the white's a wild card. If you draw 2 whites, you bust. Whole thing has to start over again. But now Gia's gone. Both of them can come back. Oh, and I forgot to do this at the end of Gia's turn. These cool down. So at the end of next turn, I'll get this one back. But there are some ways you can get it back faster. Let's actually have... No, we're going to have Tarja go next. We are going to charge. There are no enemies, so I'm not going to deal any damage. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe you can move diagonally. But now I'm going to try and do an interact. And I just have a basic interaction. So that one goes down. I'll just drop that there to show how that is. And that means I get to interact for 1. And I can spend. So I got a shield. The shield doesn't help me here. But if I spend one of these, I can re-roll. Get another shield. Okay. So I just get to pull out 1. Red. I'll put it back in. Flip. Base interaction goes back there. That moves over to 1. And now we tick down turns again. Gia is going to... Oh, we'll do a basic interaction again. Have 2 movement with that. Could be useful. Purple. Not useful. And let's do the basic interaction again. Shield. It is a little tricky to draw out these things because they obviously I stacked them. That means they stack. Purple. So nothing there. That advances and cools down. Now we pop up here. We're running low on time. We need to get through this door fast. So we have 3 turns left to get that console opened. We're going to go with our basic interact here. There we go. And then just actually we're gonna spend a action to basically refill this. End of turn, that cools down. So now we have tactical positioning. We're going to drop in again. Move 3. That door is open. +1. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to spend one of those so I can get adjacent to that console. And we're just going to use the basic interaction here. I'm going to spend one of those. I want to boost my basic interaction. +2. So we draw 3. Let's do 3. Let's do a white and a red. Then we tick down, and both of these characters now have gone. That all shifts down. I can choose who goes next. And because I want to complete this, we're going to go with the infiltration unit. Because that gives me a base 2. So that gives me 3. You know what? We'll spend 3. We'll stick with 3. First one we draw out, red. So we've completed that interaction at the very tail of the tape there. That one moves up to 3. And that's hacked. And I can actually, I think, still move because that was... Wait. You know what? I'm just going to get back 2 of those. Pull everything back. Those cards slide down. Let's go up to the map here. One. And read what it says next. The console shuts down. You swiftly open the armored box containing your confiscated equipment. All players get their weapon and gear cards back. So maybe there was some gear in there that I wasn't supposed to have, but doesn't. I guess, yes, I wasn't supposed to have that infiltration unit. Whatever. I misread that. So, Ambrosius. Their security system is compromised. I have access to their vault in my ship. I'll pick up my crew members in the bar area and meet you aboard my ship. Seems the Hellfires have been alerted to your presence, but I assume you're capable of dealing with such trifles. Aaron, calm. Who are you? What are you doing in a restricted area? Did you not understand the rules you were given? I guess I'll have to get my guards to give you a little reminder. So this slides up to 5. Eliminate all enemies. So we have our enemies here. 2 thugs and a guard. So these standees are going to tell us where the guys go. So we have 5 turns to take them out. And it's worth noting some of how these guys interact. So it says eliminate all enemies. And they have a specific attack card that is called Apprehensive Attack. When enemies appear, they always go first. So, I'm going to set that there. We can see how this works. So, both of our guys activated, but this is the one who activated first. The enemy's going to go and first try and attack the nearest player. Well, this is the nearest player. They have range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can attack. They attack for 1. Simple enough. Now, I do have to double check quickly on attack here, because it's been just a little bit since I did an attack. Excuse me. No rolling, anything like that. The enemies are just going to attack. Okay. Yep. Unless something specifies the roll, they just attack. He does 1 damage. Then this guy is going to move towards the nearest player. Has a speed of 3. And then will attack the nearest player for 1. So, now we're into 5 turns to take out all these guys. This will now flip. So after both of us have gone, red activates. However, if there's no red left, it's like we have down here, then it's all over. Then nothing happens to them. So and I forgot to give myself two there and 1 there. This allows us to kind of do some bonus abilities. There will be actual... Oh, should show what I actually did there. There will be actual specific tokens for this, but these guys, basically it says, because there's 2 spots filled in, you can see all those different sections, I get 2 tokens. Down here, I get 1. So, for example, I can use this pulse rifle here, and it has a red ability, so I can actually toss that one out, and it says deal 2 damage to an enemy within 7. I'm going to shoot this guy, and I'm going to roll. Ooh, I got 2 feet, nowhere I can really move. I want to be adjacent to that guy anyways. I'm going to spend 1 to reroll. Still 2 feet. So I deal 3 damage to him. These guys have 3 health and no shield. So I take out this guy. There's no reward, anything like that. Then I'm going to do let's do a tail swipe here. Ooh, or a charge. I'm going to do a charge first. Ooh, if your action dealt more than 3 damage to an enemy, regardless of shields, deal 1 damage to all adjacent characters. I'm assuming that is to that guy, But I'm going to do this. I'm going to move 3, 1, 2, or up to 3. There's no roll for that. I'm just dealing him 2 damage. I can use... let's use the red ones. Red are damage counters. Black, my abilities. And then I have Champion's Second Aid. Once per mission, I'm going to do that now. I'm going to do Tail Swipe. So Tail Swipe, it's a 3, but my 3 slot is full. Instead, I'm going to put it up to 4. I roll +1, or I can gain a shield back. I'll gain a shield back, and I deal 1 damage to him. Now, if we don't take out red, red's going to activate now, then, or after Gia goes. And if we were to say take 2 more turns after that, well, red is just going to keep going at this point. Doesn't matter too much right now, but there might be situations where we want to avoid that. And I think there's one that's coming up here. So all of those shift down. And let's see what we have here. This guy has 4 health and 1 shield. I can put it all the way up to 4 to deal 4 damage, but because he has 1 shield, he's going to soak it. See if there's anything I can do here. Cloaking Suit. Enemies cannot target you when they attack, only when they move and other effects. You must return this card if you deal damage or interact with an object. But basically what that's going to do now is, while this is in place because of the symbol on it, I'm invisible. So I'm invisible. This guy, who is range 1, is going to try to get to 1, 2, 3. Our guy here, hit for 2. Ouch. We're almost out of shield. And everything cools down. But there was a reason for that. And that now they're adjacent to the person who can attack the best. They have 3 damage on them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rest. And then I'm going to charge to deal 2 damage to him. Because I did that, they have the 1 shield that's going to block it, but then I get a damage through. So I've taken them out. I have finished my turn over here. That cools down by 1, but now we go to mission update number 3. You can see some of these scenarios, they take a little bit longer to do. Okay, so now we were supposed to have removed those 2 blockers. I didn't go through the doors anyways. Then, here, need another red one. Red 8 will do the trick. We have 9 rounds. And We have a nice little surprise for over here. Lining up right to here. You don't need to interact with this door, I don't believe. We have our ship. That's where we want to get to. So I'm here and here. Let's stand up. So now we need to work our way to get out. Then let's look here. So we switched from our apprehensive attack to this organized attack. And we'll start on the yellow side. And we have somewhere in here a computer. Hopefully. Really, I can put down a point of interest. I just want to see if... Looks like just a few left. I'll just put down a point of interest right here. So, let me do a little bit of reading to get into this story here. Interesting. So, here we go. I've set everything up. Players may move up to 5 squares from their current position. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a lot of movement. It gets us close to where we want to be. Which is fair, because I think that there's going to be a little bit to do here. Oh, and I didn't show off that ship real well, so you can kind of see it behind my face. You know what? You can really see it behind my face now. There we have our ship. Kind of hiding some stuff down there. Hey, you got to see me float around. There we go. Hiding less. Ambrosius. Ready to take off from Hangar 17. Fortunately, we have a situation here, as the Hellfires have locked the gangway door and placed our ship in a tractor beam. We won't be going anywhere unless you can dispose of the pirates and disable the tractor beam from the control room. How you deal with it, it's up to you. Aaron. Okay, for better or worse, you now have my full attention, and you won't be going anywhere when I'm through with you. You'll be the example for everyone to see why you don't screw with the Hellfires. So, we can either open the door and disable everything, that's success 1, or we could take out all the enemies. Well, I used our 5 movement to go this way. We're looking to take out this guy, probably. Not sure about anybody else. Maybe take out that guy. Get that guy to come out of there so we can get in. Something like that. And so we have the ship here with the door. If we can interact with this, get the door open, then we can get aboard the ship. So, we still have our dear old cloaked Gia down there. But first, enemies get to go. Nearest player. These guys have range 4. So he's going to hit me and then move towards activated player. Yeah, 3 movement. So right in my face. Last activated player. 1, 2, 3. And then hit me. Now, this is something new. I don't have any shield to soak that. So, what do we get instead? We get a damage card. A wound card. I'm going to give these a nice little shuffle. That can disappear. Let me adjust camera. So, I take a wound. This one says, when drawn, move an action card 1 to the right. Well, I only have 1 that can do that because everything else was full. Then this goes on 2. However, because it goes on 2, the card in 2 comes back. And because I'm crazy, and I have played this before, we're going to play this on hard. So, this card here has 3 different sections. We have evolution. We have what always happens when drawn. There's an ongoing if you want. And then there's a discarded that can make it really hard. Well, I'm going to do it with the hard. So I can't gain shields right now. You know what? I think I'm going to have Tarira go next. She is going to use her tail swipe, which goes into 3. It ignores the enemy shield. I can get 2. I'm going to use one of my focus shield. So I just deal 1 to each. And the idea is that these guys on their bases are going to be on like little spin down kind of stands. So you can click down their health as you go. So like instead of slotting in like they do here. So that's gone. I'm going to use... I can't use my ray gun. So I'm going to use my basic interact. Hope to attack. 2. I'll take out number 2. This has flipped to red, by the way. I get that back. My pulse rifle comes off. And everything shifts down by 1. Including my round tracker here. So now it is Gia, and I'm going to use tactical positioning here to move up to 3. 1, 2, 3. And I get to roll a die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That goes on slot 2. And then I'm going to use my infiltration unit. My infiltration unit allows me to interact with this computer from a little further away. So I can do that right now, which means I'm getting 2, 3, 4 little chips things out of the bag. I know the ratio of these. I might look at replacing them as I do this. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab out actually a fairly large handful of them. So I can split them up a little bit more and go 1, 2, 3. Give me a white, give me a white, give me a white, give me a red, give me a white. I'm trying to do a very good job at not looking at anything here. 4. Alright, well that completed that. This door is now open. That was very handy. Now, because they've both gone, so we flip over those, tick that down by 1, enemies go. This guy is going to move and then attack. So 2 is going to move 3, 1, 2, 3. He has a range of 1, can't reach. This guy is going to attack, then move 1, 2, 3. Range of 1, can't reach me. That means I have 2 turns here to see if I can get onto the ship. I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, but I need to go 4. So we're going to start with Gia. Oh yeah. I should have my cloaking back. I'm no longer cloaked. So I'm going to do my basic move here. I gain a shield. Not super useful. You know what? I'll spin a focus. So 2 movement. And then I'm going to use my basic again. I think that can increase this movement. So 1, 2. Things cool down. Unfortunately, I don't have my charge, which would be great. That can get me some distance. I do have some weaponry again. And it would be yellow to go. I know those guys don't move too fast. So I'm going to use my pulse rifle here to deal 2 damage to this guy. 3 damage, take him out. So yellow, I flipped this for yellow, but now it is back to red because there are no yellows left to activate. And then I'm going to do my basic move. 1, 2, 3. So I should have ticked down 2 more turns there. Now the enemies go. Well, we know how this goes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They can't be, like, just as I can't be in space with somebody else, they can't either. So, oh, my wound card dropped off that time. So now I'm just going to do a basic move. And I have now, oh, that was supposed to be my console right there, by the way. Now I've completed. So this mission is done. It tells me success. If success 1, open the doors and disable the console. Open the door, disable the console, and get all the players on board the ship. Or eliminate all the enemies. So I took this as like I have to get to this to open that door. I think it makes sense. So we go to 4A, Aftermath. Camriel. She's the pilot, or they're the pilot. We're in neutral space, far from Fury's fall. No pursuers. Stand down from action stations. I'm plotting a route through the shadows of the planet's in the habitable zone to screen any radiation bursts from the suns. Should cut down on the debris bumps as well. Ambrosius, in person. You and your team certainly didn't disappoint, Commander. We're in for a long and demanding undertaking, but if your performance gives me confidence we'll be able to pull it off. Let's get the debrief over with so we can continue the conversation about more important matters and get you all settled on the ship. Did the team eliminate one or more enemies in the last mission segment? If yes, do nothing. And the answer was yes. Otherwise, everyone would paint in one of these with the Hellfires. Basically, this side positive, that side negative. If we hadn't killed a Hellfire, we would have gotten some benefit. In the future, there might be like determine what your connection is with the Hellfire. So like right now, we have a -1 for Ayeni and Naru, as well as a +2 for Ayeni and Naru, and we have a +2 for Ambrosius. So, there we have it. When we're ready, and we're not going to be ready today, because it's 9:10, but if we were ready today, I could continue on then to mission 2. And that's where we're going to pick up next time, Digital Blood. And that's going to have a completely different map. Most likely it's going to give us the ship again. There were also a couple characters that I have that I could have played with instead of the ones I did. What I can do is pack up everyone that I have and put them back into their envelopes. I'm not sure how Emil plans to do that with Ramel. Sorry. I should know how to pronounce it. We've gamed together, and I'm sure he's going to watch this. I'm not sure how that's going to be handled. I'm assuming some similar setup, though it might be less character specific. It might just be player 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's going to be way more than just the 4 characters that we can play with in here. But with that, we have Game 1 of Rogue Angels in the books. Let me know your thoughts on this game. Does it look interesting to you? Do you like how the systems kind of flow together? How the action cooldown system works? Things like that. This first mission, like I said, I've played it before. That moving 5 is ridiculous. At that time, if I wanted to, I could have moved 5 towards the red guys, so I could have just taken them out immediately and then worked my way through. Or I could have split up, sent Taria to take out the red and Gia to take out the yellow. Something like that. But with the combination of characters that I have and the fact that Taria had just been the primary one to take out everybody, it made sense to go for that console. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game. You can do that down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, enjoyed this content, please give the video a thumbs up. I will be back next Wednesday, probably 8 p.m. Central, maybe 8:10 like it was today. My kid has swimming lessons for this semester on Wednesdays, which means that some things like dinner potentially get a little bit later. If I can get this, honestly, I was going to say if I can get this all set up on the table beneath me, it would help. I don't know that it's going to help that much. This is a really fast to set up game. I love that about this. Even on Tabletop Simulator, it is pretty quick to get up and going, because all you're doing is you grab your character, you set up your map, and then you just start reading. And the maps are not super complex. You're not looking for map pieces. It is just a giant map book, which I absolutely love. If you want to check out other content that I do, I have a whole bunch of other videos on this channel. Right before Christmas, I finished off my top 100 games of all time. Mondays, I'm going to be streaming, well, a number of different things. I'm going to have an article over on nerdologist.com. You can find the link to nerdologist.com down in the description below. But to talk about that really quick here, I'm going to start streaming on Mondays, probably going back and forth between gaming, solo gaming, not these campaigns, but just solo gaming, and painting minis, because I have a whole bunch of minis I want to paint. There's a wall over here of Marvel United stuff. I got Kingdom Death Monster in. I have some Horizon Zero Dawn stuff. I have a lot of stuff that I can paint. So I want to start practicing and learning how to paint. So that's going to be some of my Monday streams. Beyond that, probably some card openings, stuff like that. Mondays, 9 p.m. Central. That's when I do that. Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Central, 8:10ish, 8 to 8:10, I would say. That's going to be when I'm streaming Rogue Angels. I plan to stream at least 10 sessions. Probably 10 sessions before I move on to another campaign game, though it's very possible I stream 10 sessions. I set up another campaign game on the table underneath everything, and I still play this one a little bit for myself because I love the systems, I love the story, and the story is going to continue to develop. Right now, this is pretty simple introduction to characters, introduction to a lot of the mechanisms of the game. But yeah, I love this. If you want to check out other written content, things like that, nerdologist.com, like I was saying, down in the description below, I write articles, board games, manga, anime, movies, Marvel, whatever it might be. A lot of end of the year stuff, beginning of the year stuff has been going on recently, like favorite games, anticipated games, stuff like that. As well as then, if I mentioned Marvel, I have a Marvel podcast, 10-Minute Marvel. Check that one out. You can find that on nerdologist.com. That's the easiest way to do that. But again, thank you so much for watching. With that, bottoms up.